Hello there, world of tankers. Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, I'll be playing in the Tier 10 Chinese Collector Heavy, the WZ-1115A. And we're going to be having some fun in the vehicle today, showcasing its capabilities, and why, even though it does have some downsides, I still believe it to be an incredibly strong and powerful Tier 10. It's one of those tanks that I think a lot of people really underrate. And honestly, it only has one downside, which I still think that Wargaming needs to buff. Every time I make a video on this vehicle, I swear I'm going to put the title as something like, Buff the Pen! Something along those lines, because the fact that this vehicle has less penetration than some mediums, in fact, the Projet Marat and Sheridan both feature more heat pen than this vehicle, is really goofy. The 5A has really good standard in HE pen, as we can see. It's also got pretty good damage per shot at 440 on the standard, 580 on the high explosive. Like, the gun's pretty nasty in terms of all of that. It's got great DPM, decent dispersion and aiming time, and the tank's fast, reaching a top speed of 45 with a good power to weight. Like, it's got all the things you'd want for a fairly enjoyable heavy. But unfortunately, it just really struggles when loading gold. And you could say, oh well, if the pen's bad, why not just run Rammer? But to be entirely honest, Rammer is pretty dang useless nowadays, just because it's 160 more damage per minute. It's not enough of an advantage to warrant the reason of using it. I'd much rather run calibrated shells, get more standard, more premium, and more high explosive pen than getting a little bit better pen on DPM. So here we are on Desert Sands. Up against us, we have an AMX 50B T95E6, Type 71, and a VK72. So that's 4 heavies, and then apart from that, there's only 3 tank destroyers, but very cringe tank destroyers, okay? We also only have heavies and tank destroyers, which is interesting. Also, my game is kind of bugged. That damage marker at the top of my screen is not actually correct. That is not... Crest accounts don't have stat tracking, which is what I'm currently on. So it's interesting to see there being stat tracking when that's literally not a possibility. So, what am I going to do here? Well, for now, I'm going to wait a little bit further back, and we'll see if the enemy decides to push up or not. I'm usually the one who's making the aggressive play, and playing aggressive sometimes is good, but not all the time is a good play. And I'd rather play a little more passive and see what's going on here. And then we'll play it from here, right? So we have the VK72 off to the flank over here. Bonk, there you go, 410. We have the E6 flanking, however, the E6 does not look at me. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. VK gets shot again. We have the 50B on the flank as well. That player's already a goner. We got the Type 71 in the back. Let's load a gold shell right into his turret. Interesting play from the enemy E6. Not exactly sure what this player's trying to accomplish, but not much, evidently. Alright, well, I'm going to poke you again. Bonk, there you go. 418, 690. Ah, so the 268 decided to move over here. Alright, well, I'm going to reload and see ya. I've said it many times, and I still believe that my RNG is rigged, bro. How do I roll 360 on a one-shot tank? Like, that is so incredibly goofy. And then I got rolled 446 by a 380 alpha? Bruh. Alright, well, our 183 is making an interesting play. And, hey, if you want to go for it, I'll cover you. But I don't know exactly how I feel about that play. Shooting at 183s be like. Alright, let's see. So the 50B is obviously on, like, 1 or 2 shells now. I'm going to load in a high explosive shell, get the clear into you, and then we have the enemy FE2 and 5B 183s left. We also have the E6 over on the flank. And let's see. Okay, E6 gets shot. Then we get a nice shell ourselves into this player. And the E6 decides to drive again into the other 183. Well, that's fine with me, because I can move over here and get a free shell into you, just like that. Let me back up. Now those 183s are loaded at this point, and I don't really want to get slappered by that. So I'm going to move over here and see if we can get the clearance of the E6 really quickly. There you go. Easy 76 damage. Then we can move up a bit. The enemy 183 is not looking this way, so we'll go over here. We'll put on my adrenaline, get an easy shell into you. That 183 backs up, gets shot again, and I will get the clear into you. Here we are. Hello, good sir. And then all that's left is an Object 268 on the other side of the map. I did pretty good this game, 3,500 damage. We can see why the 5A feels super nice. The 8.2, well, it's a 9.6 second reload. I had Adrenaline on, but the 10-second reload for 440 alpha feels very nice because you have great DPM to pair with this higher alpha. As you saw, the accuracy is pretty good, and the mobility is quite nice as well. I mean, in most situations, this tank just kind of bops. We got one bounce, but that's also because we only really received one shell. Our E6 just kind of drove in front of two 183s, and, well, I'm not sure what to say there. I mean, I'm not going to complain because it gave me some free damage, but at the same time, if that was a close game and I needed that E6 to keep 1,000 plus health, yeah, please look around the corner that you're poking. I mean, he saw the first 183, and I think he was thinking to himself, well, if I poke it and then back up, I might not be able to be shot. But who are we kidding, bruh? It's a 183. They always hit their snaps. And then after that, he was completely oblivious to the other 183, blindsided by the rage of being penned by the first one. So then he just got double teamed, basically. It did not go well, but went well for us. And you can see kind of why the 5A is an enjoyable experience. I mean, you're never going to, like, get some insane games in the 5A. You might get the occasional one, but realistically, you're going to get the insane battles in more of the overpowered style tanks, like the Super Conqueror, which is mobile, has 10 degrees of gun depression, good pen, good DPM, and armor, and reactive, and everything. The 5A is more of one of the chill tanks that I like to play, where no matter what you're doing in it, you always feel like you're actually rather calm. You know, you've got enough alpha to go up against any tier 10s quite reliably. And the accuracy paired with the mobility means that you're always going to be hitting your shots. And when you add all that with the fact that I just think the take looks amazing, then it's this great combination. Yeah, my stat tracker's not working at all. Like, it's still at the same number it was before. I'm going to make it disappear. There you go. Alright, so let's see what we can do here. You can see the good mobility on this tank, chilling at 40 kilometers per hour. What do they have up against us? 2 heavies, 3 mediums, and 2 tank destroyers. Okay, and the 183 is one of those tank destroyers, which I really don't want to fight too much of. The enemy standard B, and bonk, 390. It's a low roll, but I'll take it. Standard B stock, but honestly, I don't think it matters if I remember that or not, because bro's pretty dead either way. Let's aim it on this patent. It'd be nice if my 4202 didn't completely drive over there. Alright, well, we get one nice shell into the enemy patent. Our 4202 gets a shell out as well. Not too bad. Okay. We're just going to chill here. This 4202 is just over poking this bush a lot. And the problem is, if he backs up, it's going to put me in a situation where I get screwed. So, also, apparently we don't have 440 alpha, because I've penned 3 shots, none of which were clearing shots, and I've done not even close to it. Oh, boy. Yeah, we can see where the rather poor heat pen of this vehicle exists. It's bad. Like, the fact I can't pen an E100 turret is a little goofy. We're going to reload, and... oh. There you go. That's what I was talking about with the 4202 taking up this position, which then puts me in a rather awkward spot. At least our heat shell rolled decent. I'm not going to get too mad about that. 183 aims it on the 4202. Well, actually, he doesn't shoot, but I trust my turret armor enough to be able to just sit hull down here and get a nice shot into that 183. We're up to 2,000 damage already, which is pretty good, especially judging that I haven't really done anything too over-aggressive. We have the E50. 359 AP? Bro, what are my rolls? Oh my god, my average damage is terrible today. Alright, we got the 57 heavy, and we can see that good aiming time. There you go. There you go, an average roll. Isn't that crazy? I don't know if the 183 has a shot. I don't really care either. We're going to push over towards the T110E4, and I'm going to try and get a high explosive shell into his bootay. Aiming, and bonk. There you go, 587. And just like that, we got a pretty good game. 3,500 damage again. We can see the 5A. I mean, it's a great tank. The accuracy, the mobility, and the overall gun feels fantastic. But we saw the one problem with it. I couldn't pen that E100 turret. Literally any other tier 10 would have easily buttered through that turret. But when I'm looking at it, it's completely red, which is kind of goofy. But oh well. We still did top in the team. We still had a pretty solid result. I've always really enjoyed playing in this vehicle. I've always had a very fun experience, especially with like 3,500 and 70+%. That's pretty good for the NA server in general. It's just a fun tank to drive, and you can see why. But once again, I think we should all make a petition to buff that heat pen. You guys can let me know your personal feelings, comments, and opinions down below. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.